Hello minions, back again, Devildrive here, and today we are back on Far Cry. And I thought what I'd do is, because I see a lot of people streaming the game itself, the main story, the campaign, and a few people doing the multiplayer kind of maps and co-op and all that sort of good stuff. What I thought I'd do is I'll show you a little brief video, or briefish, about the map maker itself, the map editor. A few people have asked me to do this. So this is what I'm going to do for you guys. I'm going to go through every one of the assets if I can. There's lots of them. There's like 9,000, so it might be a little bit of a long video. And then we'll try and just try a few things out and see what we can do. So let's start this up. So a little history of me in Far Cry. I started playing Far Cry. I played the first game and I loved it. I thought it was really, really good. A little bit different. And then Far Cry 2 came out and they introduced the map editor. It was very different from the first game, and I got a little bit of, I wouldn't say fame because that sounds obnoxious, but a bit of notoriety for my maps that I used to create on Far Cry 2. They were very good, if I don't say so myself. It took a long time to make my maps because I am a bit of a perfectionist, as you may know already watching any of my other videos. So what I've done is I made, I think, about 15-16 maps on 2, I made a couple on 3. I didn't really make any on 4, just because I didn't like what they did to it. So you want to make a new map on the editor, so we'll just go into new map. So yeah, because I didn't make any on 4, it's been a long time coming. Ubisoft had a history of kind of ruining everything that made Far Cry 2 map editor really good. They took out in 3, and in 4 they took it out, took the multiplayer out even, and it was just solo and co-op. So I was really annoyed by that, and as a result I didn't really make any maps on 4. This time round they've listened to the fans for once and actually put it all back in. Although the multiplayer is only 6v6, so 12 people running around a map. So they ain't going to be huge maps. Unless you make them kind of linear, so you have to go down a certain path and run into the enemy that way. So this is it. As you see, I'll just go back a little bit. The map editor, as you can see, is in arcade. So you can make a solo or co-op map. You can also make a multiplayer map. So they kept the thing from 4, which is solo and co-op, which is kind of good. They've kept that. A lot of people do like that. I didn't myself, but that's just my opinion. And the multiplayer thing is my thing. So you've got Team Deathmatch and Deathmatch in multiplayer. They've got rid of the Capture the Diamond, unfortunately. You've also got the terrain types, so you can have your presets, terrain types. That's kind of cool. I like to keep a grid map, plain and simple. I like to add everything myself. So I'm going to start the map editor, and we'll see what's going on. That music is really irritating, I gotta say. I'm quite an old gamer, and I grew up in the era of these retro games looking like this because we had no other choice. So kids today are like, oh look, it looks all retro, isn't it cool? No, it isn't. Not if you had to live for it. I like the new fancy graphics that they've got these days. Okay, so this is the map editor. It's more like a checkered board this time. So you hold L1 down, that gets you your radius, your HUD thing. Let's go into map details to start off with. Oh, that takes you to somewhere else. Mission details, deathmatch, assault, outpost, journey, go to the exit. Okay, bounty, eliminate all targets and escape. Okay, so I'm going to keep on team deathmatch for now, because why not? Create snapshots, so you can take a photo of a certain part of your map and use that as your thumbnail. Manual tag, industrial office, not entirely sure what that is. There's quite a lot of things. Testing. Oh, okay, so you can pop that in so it tells you a little description about what it is. So, for example, if you're testing the map out, you can put it on testing and people know that it's not finished and things like that. If it's a medieval style map, you can do that. It's quite a funny. Quite a lot of things on there. So anyway, let's go back to this. Okay, so let's gameplay modifiers. Let's have a look at that. Common modifiers. the countdown, so you can change the time limit. You can change the score. Modify as Team 1, so you can disable the health generation, no fall damage, no fire damage, no explosive damage. These things make it a little bit more interesting, depending on the type of map you want to do. Infinite ammo is, you know, useful, but it makes it a little bit too easy in my mind. But it's cool that you can have that. Underwater breathing, that's also a good thing to have, right? Yeah. One-shot kills, reckless driving, modified jump height, so you can have a modified gravity even. Oh, nice. Friendly fire, that's always fun. Modified team 2, so that's basically the same thing. So you can have modifiers in this, which is pretty good. Environment and audio, so let's check that out. Day-night cycle, so you can change the hour of the day, so you turn it to nighttime. We've got stars. Oop. Lots of stars if you have it a little bit darker, like dusk-ish. Oh, 2100 hours. So there you go. You can change. You can have it like dawn to dusk. So for now, let's put it like midday. Let's have it midday. So you can change the minutes also. I'll make it a little bit different. If you want lots of more stars, you can change the minutes, and if you make it a little bit darker, and you can have more stars. Latitude for the sun and the moon, which I can't see. That's midday, so it's going to be right above me. So you can move the sun and the moon. So if you're building, I don't know, let's say a temple with the sun blaring down through a hole, lighting up a place, you can move the sun and the moon to make that fit properly, which is kind of cool. Sun angle, you can change it. Alright, okay, yeah, so you can change the angle there. Moon angle, well the moon's below me, so I ain't going to be able to see that, but that does the same thing. Moon phase. Okay, so let's change it to nighttime. There's the moon, that's a tiny little moon. Moon angle, so that does that. Okay, so moon phase, let's see what that does. Ah, cool. New moon, full moon. That's pretty cool. See, little details make a big difference. I find that helps a lot. Moon size, so you can make the moon bigger. Nice. Wow, you can have that real big. Wow, that's pretty sweet. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Let me change the little effect on it. Ambient bounce color red. Oh, okay, so you can make the make it like a little red shift thing going on. Color green. There you go, a little green shift. Good for any horror maps. This will be good for. You can change the ambience. And blue as well. So that's cool. Sky occlusion. Let's see what that does. Not entirely sure what that does. Well, okay, there's that as well. Okay, so that's your day and night cycle. Let's have a look at the weather, shall we? Okay, so sky default. Oh, apocalypse. This was kind of cool. That's not bad. Okay. Bloodshed. That's pretty sweet. Just, I'll tell you what, before we do that, let's go put that back onto daytime so we can actually see what we're doing. Whoa, that's right. What's that, 12? Midday. There you go, you've got the sun up there, cool. Now you can actually see the red shift and all that sort of stuff going on. Right, well, go away, fly. I've got a fly on my nose. Yeah. Okay, so bloodshed, blueberry field. Okay. All right. Okay, so that makes that look like that. Faith. It's kind of like a white hazy thing. Okay. Father. Ooh. kind of a funky green colour. Oh, there you go. There's your haze. Oh yeah, it's a little bit foggy. High mountains. I guess that'll be a little bit clearer, I'm guessing. A little bit hazier. Horizon. Horizon 2. So they got quite in depth with this. That's pretty good. So you could have lots of different looking maps. Jake. Oh, fuck. Well, that's a little excessive, but okay. Orange sky, outer space. Let's see what that looks like. So that takes a while to turn out. That'll probably look better at night, I think, that one. Pagan. Peaceful vibe. Quiet night. So they've got lots of different unicorn land. Let's go back to default for a minute. There we go. Clouds. So we've got no clouds at the moment. There we go. There's boom. Clouds. So this might make it a little bit more sense if we've got clouds. Oh, there you go. Okay, cool. So big clouds, big sky too. Oh, that's pretty cool. Wispy clouds there. That's not bad at all. Ah, some cumulus. It's hard to say when you mumble like I do. That's pretty sweet. That's a nice one. Big sky 5. That's pretty good. They've got some nice clouds. It's good that they got lots of different clouds. It makes it look. They're very good looking clouds, I've got to say. They're all nice. Oh, serious. Some pretty funky, not overcast kind of things. Oh, let's pop a few clouds in. There you go. Cloud height. Okay, so that moves all the way up there. That moves them all the way down. See that right down to the horizon. There we go. That's a little too far there. There you go. So there you go. Where's your clouds? Cloud shadow. We have cloud shadow. Ah, we have. That's pretty sweet. Actual. Mostly cloudy. That's pretty good. Overcast. I like that. Let's go with standard, I think. It's the same as none. But sweet. Oh, we've got wind in this as well, so let's put the wind up. Oh, you can hear it. Oh, yeah, you can definitely hear that. That's pretty cool. It's nice that they got wind. I'm sure that'll do different effects and whatnot. Let's have a look at the storm. Oh, so this is the audio for it. That's cool. That's actually quite relaxing, that. Oh, lightning. I like that. That's pretty cool. Wrong Skype for this, but there you go. Oh, so you got stormy or none. There's your choice. So that'll be pretty good to play about with. So there's your weather effects. Let's have a look at some fog. Fog density. Oh yeah. Oh, that's real foggy. Oh wow, that's really bad. That's oh, just sunk into the thing. So you can have it a little bit foggy or really, really foggy. Let's take the fog off. That's pretty cool. You can change the height of the fog, maximum fog scattering. Okay, so that's scatters of fog. Fog extinction. Not entirely sure what that is. Help if I had some fog on. So it's pretty cool that you can have different effects with your fog. Oh, you can change the colour of your fog as well. That's pretty cool. Fog density. Oh, that's pretty cool. So backdrop. Let's have a look at your backdrop. backdrop. None. Alpine. Oh, here we go. Look at this. That's kind of cool. We've got backdrops now. Oh, Alpine snow. Deserts. You can have desert. Mountains. That's pretty good. Oh, none. So let's go with the... oh no, what should we have? Let's have a mountain backdrop, I think. Backdrop height. Oh, so you can raise and lower the backdrop. Okay. Backdrop angle, so you can change the angle of it. Okay. Cool. Okay, so post FX. Color filters. You can have... oh. Well, that's a good idea. Have lots of different black and white and red. Oh, nice. Okay, so that's pretty sweet. You can have different colours. Ooh, that's creepy. Desert Faith. There's going to be a lot of these. Oh, look at that. That's funky. Highland. So Highland would be good, I suppose, as we're in the mountains. But, Himalayas, Jacob, movie star. Okay, so they've got some cool backdrops. Shangri-La, snow, sunny, tune, default, full options. Okay, so that changes the color effects. Oh, you got the oh, that's nice. That's a good idea. Okay, that's interesting. That's pretty cool. Effect. Okay, that changes the effect. Oh, that's good. Audio. Let's have a look at the audio. Ambient sounds. Exterior panic. If you're making a, I guess a cityscape. Another city. Interior fields. Forest horror. Oh, that's kind of cool. And yes, before anybody else asks me, yes, I will be making a horror map. It seems to be people's question of choice at the moment. Are you going to make a horror map? Yes, I'm going to make another horror map. Primal. So I should point out, you not only get assets from Far Cry 5, you get assets from... assets being things that you can place in the environment. Buildings and such not. You get them from Far Cry 4 and Far Cry 3, and you also get them from other games like Assassin's Creed Origins, Assassin's Creed Unity, Black Flag, things like that. Trippy. Well, that's pretty good. Music things. Oh, so you can have music on there as well. Well, that's cool, I like that. Let's keep one of these on so you don't just hear silence. Black Flag, Unity, there you go. 5 by 2, 3. Blood Dragon. Let's put one of those on. Sun Occlusion. Okay, cool. So you can. Nice. Set whether I have it on and off. That's pretty cool. Okay, so there's your audio and your environmental things. So your gameplay modifiers we've covered, map details we've covered. So create snapshot. Basically, when you do this, you can maybe say you built a really cool, I don't know, temple or something. Take a photo of it, and then when people view your maps and they're deciding whether or not they want to play it, that will be the thumb shot for it. The picture that they see. So let's go to terrain, all these favourite terrain tools, paint textures, add vegetation, roads, water, and map limits. So let's do map limits first because that's nice and easy. So basically, these speed up my camera a bit. Okay, so these things here, these are your borders. So there you go, there's your borders. So if you want a part of the map where you don't want people to come in, you can grab it and you can move these things like that. So now anybody can't get into, nobody can get into these things here. So if there's something here that, you know, it means that you can create areas that people can see but can't physically get to, if you want to make a like a kind of a shorter map. And so R3 will undo. Normally. But, okay, well that's not important. So that's the thing, I'm not keeping this map, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so map limits, you can use the radius as well. By doing something, or you could just grab this and move it out, I suppose. Grab that, move that out to the edge. So if you want a big map that, you know, people can move around freely in, you literally just grab that and move it right out to the edge. If I can get my camera in, there you go. So now you've got the entirety of the map. If you do that on all four corners, right, fucking, it's not going according to plan. There we go, so you grab that and then you move it right out. So there you go. Cool, so there's your radius, your area. It didn't work. There you go. And do the same with these guys as well. And there you go. So the water effects, before we do that, let's put some texture in, shall we? So at the moment we've got the grid, the checkered board kind of look. So let's click on that and let's find something else we can put on. So let's go with there should be a grid. It's checkered. Are you at the bottom here? Okay, so you don't have that anymore then. Okay. So what should we do then if we don't have the grid? I was looking for a little grid, but it doesn't look like it's got it. Oh, you got a glacier, that's kind of cool. So that's what the glacier looks like. Also, if you wanted to do something different, you could just pick one of those and then R2 will paint it in. And you can always raise and shrink it up, make it really big, and make it really small. So do little bits of it. So you can change the speed and the hardness. The radius obviously is what I was just doing. You do it manually as well. Your speed of which you paint, you can turn up. So you do it real quick, like that. If you wanted to change the entire thing, the hardness, again, that's how pretty much how strong the effect is. Basically, see that real quick. If I turn that all the way right down, see, you only get a little bit. As you can see, that one, because the hardness is all the way up, it's covered every inch that it can do. And this is just kind of not. See, there you go. Hold it in. Now you can also change the distortion, which is exactly what it says, is how much it gets distorted. Okay, so the sync's a little bit out. There's a bit of that's going to be a little bit of an issue, but you work around that eventually. No, that's not too bad. Depends where you stood, I suppose. And also, you can obviously change the shape, so you can shrink that down and up. Hold R1 and left and right on the analog stick will change the radius, or you can do it manually just by going up to that and clicking away. And you can do shapes like that. Slope is pretty much the same. So how much? Actually, I don't know what slope does. Oh, I'm guessing if you've got a hill or a slopey area, that'll change that. So you won't get what we used to call stretching, I suppose, or bleeding or anything like that. Which is where one thing kind of bleeds into another when you don't want it to. So that's kind of cool, you can do that sort of thing. So I'm going to change this to a nice little alpine forest. Get rid of that, and then we can take this off completely. L2, it would have also raised things. Okay. So you can clear slot with triangle. There you go, clear that slot. So there you go, we've got a kind of terrain that sort of matches the outside. Kind of. That's good enough for what we're doing anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find something a little bit neutral, like alpine forest mix. Something a little bit darker, just so I can show you. Coal, if you're making beaches. We've got dead leaves. We've got so many. What's this? Dirt leaves red. Okay, so like autumn, fall kind of thing. Yeah, lots of dead leaves and stuff. We've got rocky, dirty kind of, yeah, dirt medium. There we go. Dirt rock. Got kind of generic gravel. That's kind of that'll do. So you've got a fair few of them. You've got your forest, grassland, snow, more gravels, ice IG. Oh, that's the yeah, okay. That's the default thing. Mountain cliff tops, mountain grasslands. You've got your dirt, your riverbeds, mud, rocks. Rock cliff faces, rock cliffs. So if you're doing if you're making a mountain, say, and you can texture the side of the cliff to make it look like a cliff face, rather than using like rocks to do it. So you've actually got cliff front textures as well. That's always a good one. It was in last games. That's a real nice one because it gives the texture a real good look. I got quite a few more of them actually. It's pretty good. So we've got rocky pebbles. That'd be good for like beaches and things like that. I've got your sand for deserts. You've got sandy flat rock. You've got your wavy sand for like you know, shallow waters, beach fronts and stuff. And then you've got your ice. I'm glad they put a lot more ice in this one. That's good. So yeah, there you go. That's all your, I mean, tundra. Kind of cool. So let's just pick a concrete broken for now. Let's go back to that gravel one. Dirt dark. That'll do. That'll do for now. I mean, we're not building a map, we're just showing stuff, so I ain't gonna be do that. Okay, so the roads exactly the same. So you have all sorts of different types of roads. You basically click on one point, drag it along, let go, and there you go. If you wanted to make it wider, you can change the width of it. We're doing that, and then you go a weird kind of road. A really good trick for roads is you might have noticed in here you got actually quite a lot more than you used to. That's the vegetation. That's not what I wanted. What was it? Paint textures. So you've got 4 areas that you can have. So you can only have 4 different textures going at once. So you can have grass for the grasslands, and you can have a beach front, or you can have sand, or you know, something else. So you can only have 4, but you can get around that by using the roads. For example, if you use, say you was doing a lake or a beach even, you pick a sandy road, if you've got one. Path mud, no sand. There you go. Pick a sandy. Oh no. And then it changes to that. Now, if you put that all the way around the edge of your lake or coastline, it makes it look like a beach. You can make it wide, and it makes it look a little bit like, especially if you've got like a lake and you put a gravel road down, it makes it look like the kind of gives you another texture to add instead of just having the one, which is always nice. So there's a little trick, because you can have quite a few different roads, which means you can have quite a few different textures, like bordering lakes and rivers and things like that, without using up any of your 4 slots for this. It's always a good thing. So let's have a look at terrain tools this time out. Now, bump, classic. You can change it, square, circle. There you go. You got bump. A little mound. What I was saying earlier, if you want to put on, let's pick one of the cliff things. If I could find them. Right down the bottom. There you go, rock cliff. Let's pick that one. So we shrink that down so we can fit it in, and then we just paint this like a cliff. There we go. Now that looks more cliff-like. Oop, I don't have to be perfect. I'm wondering if we can show you. There you go. So that's how you make your little your cliff look a little bit better, but it still looks a little bit flat. So we can do things like this. We can go into say you're making a mountain range. There it is, erosion. Okay, and erosion is one of my favourite tools, because you basically put it over the way you want it to go, make it big, and then just like this. And it basically weathers the whole thing down for you. Just like that. And there you go. Tools. Show you flatten. So there's your cliff. Now it's actually 3D and it looks more like a cliff. I mean, there's other ways of doing it as well, but the erosion tool, I mean, noise and erosion combined are very good. Of course, the flatten basically does exactly what it says on the tin. It flattens it to a point like that. But if you ever don't like something, you can obviously click R3 and it doesn't do anything. Oh, hold R3 down, and then you can press left to undo it. Or if you did like it, press right to redo it. See? Like that. So that's still there, that's good. You can obviously change the hardness and the speed like we was on about earlier. There's the same thing in this. And you can change the shape. And that big square or circle in the middle, that's your hardness, so that you can change that. So that's flatten. Raise and lower, again, is a very good trick. Raise it up real fast, boom, boom, to make real tile bits. Or equally, you can lower it, so L2 will shrink it down to make weird little shapes like that. Also, you can set the height. So you used to be able to press triangle, and then no, okay, so that's changed. Lock camera stops you spinning the camera around, so you can move it around like that. That's square. So L2 will make a hole, R2 make a bump, and raise, lower, hold R1 for shortcut, radius, height. Okay, so the height, radius, distortion. So that was what raise and lower did. Now, if you want to get rid of that, before you used to be able to press triangle and it will flatten everything to the same level, but I guess now we go into flatten, smooth, flatten, L2. So hold L2 down and then you just, and it smooths it all off, but you still end up with a bit of a bump. So it'll smooth off whatever the height is, which is not ideally what you want to do. So you pick a spot where it's just dead flat, and then you can move that over with R2, and that'll completely smooth off the area. Nope, it's still doing that. Okay, so how do we get around that? Distortion, speed, radius. Okay, oh, maybe it did do that. It's just a shadow taking a little while to disappear. Okay, cool. Yeah, so R2 will flatten anything down to the level that you want. Obviously, if you pick a level up here and flatten it, it'll flatten everything along like this. See? Because it'll flatten everything to the height where that little dot is in the middle, which you don't want. So hold R3, left to undo. So say you want to get rid of that pattern, right? If you pick it in the middle and do it, you're always going to end up with a little bit of a bump. You can just about see there. So what you want to pick that's dead flat, then you can do it, and it will smooth everything off just like that. Do noise. Okay, so noise was basically a little bit like the erosion tool. However, noise does this. Now you can combine that with this little touches, and what it does is it basically randomly generates pinnacles and things like that. If you L2 it, it should sink down, so a mixture between L2 and R2 will create little pinnacles and stuff like that. And if you shrink this right down and do this on the side of a cliff, it's going a little bit fast, a little bit bigger, like that. This is how we get little jaggedy edges. And you just basically you play with it, L2 and R2 up and down, just to make it a little bit more kind of natural sort of looking. It's great for doing cliff faces and things like that. And then once you've got a rough kind of pattern that you want, then you can go over the whole thing with the erosion tool, which is down there, and that'll just erode it down to make it look a little bit more smooth and a little bit more natural, and then you end up with a funky little bit like that. Now smooth is one of our best friends. We love smooth. Smooth will just literally smooth everything off. It does what it says on the tin. So that's what that will do. And there you go. You got like say you was doing beach fronts, you can start off with like that, and then if there's a lot of an area where you want maybe a riverbed or something, like a lot of waves that have eroded off the rocks and things, you can do this. Things like that. It's also good for hills and things like that. If you want people to get up hills, you can use it for that sort of things. If you're doing slopes are notoriously tricky if you don't know what you're doing. Like when you first start building maps, they are quite hard to do. It seems like a silly thing, but when you're building a slope, it's all flat and angular. So use the smooth tool to try and get that off and make it all nice and flat so people can actually walk up it. So there's your smooth tool. This is what I was talking about, ramps. So if we that ain't gonna work unless we get a bump, so let's make a big bump. Let's go over here and do this. Okay, so there's a big bump. So to make a ramp, you basically pick a point. Let's make a small ramp, pick a point, boop, there, and that's where you want the ramp to start, and say you want it to finish there, you can do it. But I'm going to make a big one, boop, like that, and boom, there's your ramp. Now, if you make another ramp on it, it does stuff like that, which you don't want to do, because you ain't going to be able to get up either one of those bits. So you can either undo it and have the long ramp like that, or you could use the smooth tool. The smooth tool can be a little bit tricky to use on ramps, so instead of just picking a point and smoothing that bit off like this, right, you end up with weird kind of jaggedy edges, especially if you go all the way up at the top. So what you can do, undo, you start off at the top or the bottom. I always like to start off at the top, hold it smooth down at the top, and then slowly just kind of drag it down. Like that. I made it slightly big, but if you get to the edges here, you can then smooth off the sides of it. This is a little bit thin, this bit, for what I'm actually trying to do, but you get the idea. So there you go. So you won't have like sheer wall faces. Should have made that ramp a little bit bigger, but that's the whole idea. So there you go. That's how you do that. So we've covered ramps, that and that and that. Noise, more. Got that. Flatten, raise, lower, raise, lower, and more. Okay, set to height. Okay, this is a really, really good one. Hold as well. Okay, so the set to height. If you want to raise up the entire thing, okay, because if you, let's do the hole first actually. Let's make a hole. Boom, cut a hole. Okay, so now you've got a hole. Right, or even better, let's, in fact, I'll cover the hole fit first. If you want to make a hole in something, boop, there you go, you got a hole. Obviously, if you go through that hole, you'll fall to your death. So you need to find a way of covering that up. So these are good for, if you do it on the side of things, they're good for entrances to caves and things, if you shrink it down at the right angle. Let's get that. So you could do like a little doorway. Boop, there you go. That will allow you to also build underneath the map, so you don't necessarily have to have the ground there. I mean, I built a map called Event Horizon on one of my one of the previous games, and I set it in space. And the way I did that was I built the structure, fabricated the structure up here in the air. I set it to night so you can see the stars, and then I used that hole tool to completely remove all of the ground. There was no ground left. So when you was up in the spaceship, you look down, and all you can see is stars, every direction. So there's little things like that you can do, which is pretty cool. It's a really useful little tool, that. So, say you wanted to build a cave system that goes down, or a tunnel, or something like that. You would need to use the bump. You can even go up, or you can go down. So L2 will go down, but you can only go down so far. See, it just sinks all the way down. Okay, so let's say, I mean, eventually you will get to the bottom of the map, and you won't be able to go up anymore. See, that is your height that you've got. You can only fit so much in that, but if you wanted that to be higher, you can literally just go base the entire map up. So if we build a great big dome up here, like that, right, or even higher, you can raise it higher. Then we go to set to height. Now, if you wanted to, say this is the top of a, I don't know, castle or mountain or something, you can just press triangle. That will lock that height. So now you hold R2 and you come out, it sets everything to that height. Just like that. Okay? Very useful. Again, if you wanted to fill that hole in, triangle, and there you go. That's how you do little bridges across great big gaps, or, you know, you could fill it in like that. If you're too lazy to go into the other things, like the flatten mode, you could just set it to height, cover the whole thing up, and there you go, boom. Equally, if you're trying to get rid of a mountain, set it to height, boom, it flattens the whole thing, just like that. it's great for doing borders. I mean, you see this great big oval edge around here. That's kind of annoying. I can get rid of that by changing the radius or of either the ground here or the map bringing the border in. But if you wanted to, you could just build and bump this up really high. Speed that up a little bit. So you can do this like that. Then you can go to set to height, like that, and then just do that all the way around. And then you can do what we did with, where is it? Did I get rid of it already? Oh, there it is over here. Right, then you do what we did with this. The edge of let me shrink that bit down so you can see. You do what we did with this bit here, all the way along there, make that look like a mountain range. So then that will cover off the border. You can still see a little bit behind there. And yeah, I mean that set to height thing is very useful for things like that. As is the whole tool. Okay, so that's your terrain tools covered. Map limits we've done. Water, let's check out the water. Ocean, lakes, ocean, okay. We don't have any ocean. But let's check out the ocean. Ocean appearance, default, light blue. It changes the colour of the ocean. Oh, shit. Take that down a little bit. A lot. I don't know what's happened. Oh, there you go. Okay, so the ocean, I'm guessing there's an ocean on the outside. You can have waves. Water level. I mean, there used to be water there. Ah, there we go. Okay, so let's fill that up a little bit more. There you go. Right, so now we can kind of see the ocean. So let's get rid of that background. If I can remember how. That was it. Terrain, environment, backdrop. None. Okay, so now you can see the ocean. Ta-da! Terrain, water, ocean. So there's the ocean. You can have dark blue, dark green, funky green, dark blue. It's pretty good. Paint, red. That's nice. Let's have some waves. Let's put it to dark blue for the waves. Okay, so you got a little bit of waves. It's quiet. So default, quiet. Strong waves, very strong waves. That's not bad. You got different wave functions. That's kind of cool. Lakes, I'd imagine they will be the same thing. Oh, lakes. Okay, this is new. So, alright, okay. So you can have a lake. Let's pop a lake in, shall we? Boop. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Let's try and find a hole. Have we made a hole? Ah, there you go, so you can see the lakes there. Okay, so basically you punch a hole. Let's punch a hole. There you go. Punch a hole. That is the layer of the ocean. So that's the ocean that you can see there. So you could either use the ocean to make rivers and things like that, or if you really wanted to, you can get rid of the ocean completely, or just make it low enough so that you don't see it, or you can build over it and then pop in a lake. I guess like that ain't gonna work because it's sound like. And there's your lake. There you go. Now we've got a lake. So I guess that gets around making the layers, because before you used to have a certain amount of layers that you could put in, so you could just use that to fill in the lake. It's actually quite a good little tool. I like that. We'll be using that a bit. So the bit that everybody's waiting for. Let's go to objects. I'm going to go for a pee because I need a wee. I'll be back in a minute. So BRB. And a back, sorry about that. When needs must and all. Got to go for a tinkle. Right, so this is a bit everybody's been asking me about. The objects. So let's pick a spot. And let's see what we've got. Lights and effects. So, dust effects. Okay, so I'll put one of those in. Doesn't seem to do much, that one. Maybe if there's sand or something like that. Not too sure on that one. Electrical effects. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay, cool. Well, that's pretty sweet. You get little sparks. No, that is cool. Little zappy bits. Electrical spark spray. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. Fire effects. Let's have a check those out. Oh, that's fucking awesome. Now I'm gonna have some fun with this. Oh man, that's so much better than what I used to do. That. Oh, fucking blazing inferno. Gee, oh look at that. That I like. That's cool. Alright, so a little smouldering kind of thing going on there. Nice. So they've got a few different kind of really cool fire effects. Oh, it's the sparks. Oh, I see what it's done. Nice. Okay. Cool. Candle. Okay, so maybe that... Oh, yeah. I see it just about. Nope, maybe not. Oh, right, I see. Yeah, you only move it around. You got the little candle light. It'll probably appear better when I don't have that big green, purple arrow over it. Cool. So let's get a little bit closer. That's nice. Oh, there's going to be some bodies burning on my maps. By trail, that's really sweet. I like that, that's really cool. Okay, so insect effects, eh? Insects, flies, oh yeah, look, flies. Flies too. That's pretty good. Got bodies or anything like that? Moths? Oh yeah, little moths right up in the air. Oh, that's nice. Cool, I like that. Insects, light effects. Oh, there's strip light. Bit random. Ooh, crap. That's a big one. Oh. Oh, a little beam. Beam of light, nice. It's probably look better at night, these ones. Alright, yeah, okay, so you can turn these around, by the way. Hold R2 and then like that. A little laser. Just about see that. That's pretty sweet. Laser, oh, look at that. I like that. Nice. Okay, cool. Check out the different lights. Okay, so you can have a generic kind of light bulb type thing. Right, okay. Spotlight. Racing effects. Wow, okay. Ah, right. Odd. Fireworks. How far back is it? Oh, right. I get you. Oh, cool. Nice. Flares. Sweet. Oh, okay. You got your little. Haha. That was cool. Nice. Nice. Smoke effects. Oh, this is the kind of thing I want. Oh, my graveyards are going to look so cool. Oh, you get... Smoke cloud. Oh, that's subtle. That's real subtle. I like it. Smoke column high. Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah. Nice. Oh, that's cool. Medium. A bit of smoke there. Dense. So they've got some pretty cool things on there. Smoke patches. Small smokes. Nice, that's good. I like that. Water effects. Waterfall drops. Oh, right, okay, that is subtle, those. Oh, there you go. I'll zoom out a little bit. There you go, you can see it now. Waterfall large. Ah, right, let's go over here. Ah, cool. You can have actual waterfalls. Nice, that's what they've done there. Splash. So the bottom of waterfalls. So I guess you combine those two. And every little splash. There you go, like that. Top. Yeah, and you can turn that around. That's pretty sweet. You can build your own waterfalls like that. Before you was kind of stuck with what they gave you. But I like that. A little splash. Geysers and things like that with those. That's nice. I like that. Oops. Where did I put the other? Let's go over here. Oh yeah, little waterfalls. Oh, cute. Nice. I actually like some facts. Nature. Let's have a look at this. Branding and signs. Ah. Okay. Oh, that's ground stuff. Okay. Oh, that's pretty sweet. Oh. Oh. Okay, so that's kind of tree claw marks. Oh, right, okay, so you can put that on a tree and make it look like something's clawed the crap out of it. Roots decal. Oh yeah, there's your roots. Well, I guess you could put that on top of caves and things like that. That you can just, I guess, put on things like that. Make it look like something's coming down. Well, so far, I mean, I'm liking it. I mean, it's quite impressive so far. Mammoth footprint, okay. Oh, that's cool. I like that. I've been using that for stuff. Nice roots. Ooh, big roots. Sweet, look at that. Okay. Yeti footprints. It's pretty sweet. Substance decal. I'm not entirely sure what that is. Okay. Ah. Okay. More Yeti footprints. Cool. So look at your bushes then. We've got, you know, I'm just going to flick through these pretty quickly. Some nice looking plants. Oh, got some big ones. Spiky little bastards. Oh, yeah. Ferns. Oh, so there's lots of different types of bushes, which is nice. I like you'd be a bit varied. Huh. Oh, flowers. Not bad. Saplings. There we go. Oh, we got trees. Little trees. Well, only babies, I suppose. Oh. Tree hemlock. Cool. Caverns. Let's have a look at the caverns. Okay, so that's pretty sweet. So these things you can just sort of kind of whack them in. There's no entrance to them, so I suppose you could just pop them in something like this. These things are good just to break up the wall. I mean, you can half bury them into things like that as well, and then use your hole tool to punch holes in. Because I'm sure there'll be one with a doorway. But even if not, you can just like half bury them. Breaks up the walls and whatnot. Especially if we do things like that. So you got like the roots coming through as well. Oh, okay, so you got the floor. Oh, that's a ceiling. Okay, so you got cavern ceilings. I guess you could flip that and use it as a bridge or something. Oh, there you go. There's the entrance. So there you go. You can just bury that in there. Use the hole tool to cut the entrance out. And then that'll be set inside the mountain then. You've got pillars. Well, that's the floor. Bigger floor. Nice. Oh, okay. That was fucking hell. That was huge. Jesus. Oh, that's a big one. Oh, it's oh, okay, cool. We'll use that for some things. Caves. Put some scaffolding up there. Use it as like a little sniper spot. Oh, we got a little bridge. Slash archway, whatever you want to do. That's kind of a funky one with a little hole in the middle. Oh, it's like a cave, conical, small. Okay. Oh, commas. So there's quite a few different cave. Oh, that's a whole tunnel system. That is. That's pretty sweet. I like that. That is pretty cool. I like the tunnels. Floor, curved floor. Floors. Okay, that's a wall. Another wall, concave and convex. That's a big block. Yeah, little bricks. See, these little bricks like this, I mean, little bits of rubble, they make a big difference if you just sort of dot them about your map. You know, in strategic places so that, you know, it looks like they're supposed to be there. The little things make a big difference. I've always said that in map making. If you make a, you know, the little details are what make maps. Because people do notice them. They do get noticed. And you always find somebody who's, oh, okay, look at that. Oh, that's pretty good. Just like T. That is good. Recognising some of these caverns from FARCRY, the old FARCRY games. Nice. Let's get in there, get a better look on that one. Pretty sweet, yeah. Some of these things are massive. I mean, hopefully you're watching this and getting some ideas of like kind of what things you want to use, what type of map you want to make. I mean, I've seen a lot of people try to make kind of Indiana Jones style maps where there's like lots of traps and things like that. I'm a big fan of traps. I try to put traps in all of my maps just because I like to catch people off guard. There's all sorts of ways you can do it. Pitfall traps is probably the easiest way, but there's all sorts of different things. You could do fire traps. You could do. I built a flaming arrow trap once. I hit a guy who shoots arrows in a tiny little room, so there's only one place you can shoot out of, down the end of a corridor. So when you walked out into the corridor, he saw you, and I put a, I think it was a banner, like a rug or something like that, against the cave wall, so you couldn't see him, and two statues either side. and I kind of made it look like there was a statue shooting arrows at you. And the only way to get rid of them is to launch a grenade down there. That caught a lot of people off guard, that did. It's a nice little trick, but I'm a big fan of traps. Just because it breaks up the monotony. If you've got a little map that ever just people are running around on. Because a big open map where just people will just run around for ages and there's nothing in it. You don't really want that. I mean, you want things, you want environment. They give you all these cool tools and things that you could use and assets that you could put in to make the place look nice. You might as well use them. Make the place look cool, so people have actually got to negotiate the environment as well as that's a nice one. As well as like worry about who's trying to kill you. But yeah, if you're ever interested in any of my maps, guys, if you want to know, I've made, as I say, I made loads of them on Far Cry 2. If you still got that game, just search for Devildrive and all my maps will come up. Same on Far Cry 3. I've got a couple of maps on there. Asylum's quite a good one on there. I do like that one. As I say, I didn't make any on Far Cry 4 just because I didn't like the way they changed it all, and the fact that they took the multiplayer out, it just meant that, you know, what's the point? It was all about having loads of people running around murdering each other on my maps. But I'm going to speed this up a little bit because this is taking a little while. But these are, you know, some pretty good assets to put in here, especially if you're building caves, caverns, systems. But yeah, if you ever want to check out any of the other games, just search Devildrive and my maps will pop up. Particularly Far Cry 2, if you guys still played it, I think you'll like them. If you do go on there, let me know how many plays they've got, because I've not played it for a few years. So it should be quite a few by now. That's the front of things. I'm trying to rotate them around so that you can actually see, like, give you a better idea of what's available rather than just seeing at the back of something. That's another ceiling. So you see the bottom of that, all uneven. I mean, equally you could use the top of it as well. I mean, it's just flat, but you could use that if I was going to use it. That's the one. Oh, you've gone through the list already. Okay, so there's your caverns, floating platforms. Okay. Alright, so yeah, you could use these as well to build on a bridges and things like that. And okay, so that's kind of that's pretty nice. I mean, you can use these as pathways, or as a big one. Okay, so your floating platforms, grass. Okay, we've got lots of different types of grass. It's important to have little bits like this because it breaks up. You don't want just a flat ground. It's good to have little bits that break it up, make the ground uneven, use your road tool, use the bump tool a little bit, then use your road tool. Just make it a little bit, because nothing's dead flat. So it's good to have little hills and just little bump, even if it's a path that you're walking down. Don't have it dead flat. Make it sure that it's a little bit kind of bumpy and a little eroded, raggedy at the edges, because the dirt path is going to be bumpy and stuff. It's not going to be dead perfectly flat. Like I say before, little things like that do make a big difference, and it does get noticed. And you want people to notice your maps so that they play your maps. The more people play them, the more people like them, the higher up the ranking they go. If you guys are watching this from my map maker community, you guys will know all about this, because you guys have made some amazing maps. Very good. Okay, we've got some ice now. Ice. Collapsing ice. Okay, so frozen waterfall. That's pretty sweet. I mean, you could turn that upside down maybe and use that as a pitfall trap kind of thing. It's nice. And they got all sorts of different pinnacles and walls. Big walls. Really big walls. That's a huge one, that. So you could just bury that into the side of a cliff, and boom, there you go. There's your border. Is that a tiny one? That's a tiny one. That guy's a hot spring. Okay, pop one of those down. So it doesn't do anything, but you could use one of those waterfall things over there to on that, and then pop. There you go. You got a geyser. Geyser. Oh, another one, hot spring. Large hot spring. Well, it's nice that they got a snowy kind of map. I mean, we didn't really have. I mean, we could make snow maps on the other couple of games, but a lot of them were just kind of cheating. I think 4 had some snow stuff in it. Not that I used much of that. A little cave. A box, type of things. Nice column. Oh, no, that's cool. Cracked ice. So you could have this on the top bit, have it leading into a nice cave. Some cool little things, rocks. More rocks, rubble, more rocks. Oh, that's a big one. Lake. See that? The first thing I think of is a nice lake. Yeah, that's cool. Ah, nice. Oh, speaking of ice lakes. More lakes. More stalactites. Nice. Overhanging. Snowdrift thing. More snowdrifts. Cool. There's your ice stuff. Plants. Let's have a look at the plants. Floating plants. Let's go up here for this. I don't know what. Oh, floating as in lake. Where's my little lake that I built? There it is. Okay, for some reason it's not sitting on top of that, but oh, fuck it, we don't need to. Do we? Alright, let's go down here and have a little look. So we've got floating petals. Pretty cool. Large petals. Oh, there you go, lily pads. I don't know why it's floating on that and not the actual lake that I put on. That must be annoying. But there's ways around that. Cool, lily pads. Grass plants. Okay. Ferns. Little flowers. Oh, I could drop that in a grave or something. So if you guys ever make a map, drop me a comment, man. I'd love to check them out, see what you guys have done, see if I've given you any ideas for it. Would be nice. If you guys are watching on PSN, it still says nobody's watching, but I know for a fact there's at least 3 people watching. She's a little bit, because I'm one of them. I've got you on my iPad. It's real strange. I don't know how that works, but anyway, yeah. If you're watching on PSN, I'm on YouTube, Devildrive PS4. Also got a few things. I've just set up my Twitch account if you guys are interested. There's a couple of videos on there. I'm having a few issues with it at the moment. Titles and it's just not very user friendly. It's a bit of a pain. I don't have a PC, so I've got to do everything on my iPad or my PS4, and there's only certain things I can do on those, which makes life very hard on Twitch. But there you go. Okay, so we're going to have a lot more rocks. So I'm going to try and flick through these real quick because this will take forever otherwise. Okay, so we've got some of these. Oh, they're nice looking rocks. Compared to the last lot we had, I mean, some of these are really good looking. You can do a lot with these. Also, if you guys have set up your map and you're wondering, oh, where's all my assets from the DLCs and all that sort of stuff, the zombies and the Vietnam stuff and the what's the other one, the Mars stuff. Well, because the DLC haven't been released yet, if you might have bought the season pass already, but the DLCs actually haven't been released, you won't get the assets for it until they are. Sounds kind of obvious, but a few people have asked me, oh, why ain't I got any DLC assets? It's like, well, you know, DLCs haven't been released. That's why. So you've got some pretty cool rocks. I mean, I can make some nice looking cave systems with those caverns, using these to scatter around the ground with little rubble piles. I'm going to try and make sure that the rocks match as well, because if you've got like two completely different types of rock, it's going to be noticeable. These look pretty much the same. Yeah, these are all the same rocks, they've just got a different texture on it. Yeah, these are all the same. So guess what they've done is they've given you maybe not, they are slightly different. Coastal. Oh, okay, so some of those are different. So these would be good and make a coastline. You can pop some of these in the coastlines. That was a nice big one, that was that. Yeah, there you go, nice cliffs. You kind of bury that into the sea with the waves hitting it. Little boulders and whatnot. Ooh, that was a big one. It takes a little while for these to load in sometimes. The cliff fronts, I mean, they look really nice. I mean, the texture mapping has definitely improved throughout the games. Some crazy looking things. That's a cool one. Notifications, I should turn those off when I'm streaming, really. I keep saying I'll do that, but I never get around to it. Coal kind of rocks. Applying generic. So these look pretty much the same. Yeah, so these are the same style rocks as before, they've just got a different skin on it. Yeah, they're all the same. Himalayan, these are slightly different. These are more bouldery, pebbles, rubble kind of things. Oh, nice. If you're making a forest kind of map, you can use some of these moss covered ones. There's cliff faces and things like that. Nice big, really big cliff faces. That's the back of it. Yeah, so some of these would be really good to use, especially if you're making like a massive mountain where you can have to grapple at the top of it. Go back down to the generic kind of stuff. More rubble. Into mountain. Oh, okay. Yeah, again with the generic. The same type. Oh, slightly different. So I've checked a few different ones in there. But for the most part, it's the same type of rock. They just changed the skin, make it look a different, texture. Yeah. Mountain. Yeah, these are exactly the same. And get out the shadow so you see better. There you go. Yeah, okay, so they're the same as them. So these are from FARCRY Primal. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty nice actually. Lichens on it. Oh, fuck, it's big one. There's some big ones. There's some tiny little ones. It goes from massive to tiny. Yes. Tiniest. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's nice. A little bit of foliage sticking out of it. Lots of little tiny rocks. Big ones. Piles of rocks and things. They've got some funky looking rocks. We use a lot of these. Especially something like that. I mean, yeah, coming useful. Little pride rock looking thing. You could use that as a waterfall. Oh, it is a waterfall. Rock waterfall weak. Okay. Cool. So yeah, you can make a random rubble. Don't know what that is. Oh, so it's pebbles again. Some pillars. Stalagmites. Whatever you want to use them for. Stone totem. Alright. Rock totems. So something like that, you could put one of those fire effects in, and boom, you got a fire. More rocks. So these are cliff faces. Big cliff faces. It does got a big hole in it, so you could probably utilise that somehow. Curved cliffs. Yeah, remember that. It's pretty generic kind of boulders. Now, yeah, boulder's a boulder, you know. Not much special about boulders. Although these are little carvings, that's kind of cool. Find something to do with those. Oh, there's a big one. Little mini carvings. Nice. So snow, these are more snow rocks. We've had snowy caverns, and now they fill the caverns up with these things, I guess. Oh, Jesus, that's a big one. So I guess if you're making a Himalayan type map, then you could use these for the top part of the mountain. Oh, there's a big one. So there's some pretty funky looking things. Looks like an asteroid, that. Making any spacey maps, you can use that. That's pretty sweet. More snowy ground, glacier type stuff. So these are just more boulders, rock piles, cliff tops, cliffs, things like that. Okay, so boulder's a boulder. We've seen a lot of boulders. So there you go, there's your rocks. Oh, as we look at trees, branches and stumps. So these things you could use for all sorts of things. They're great for putting into swamps, or like dead woods. Or if you're making like a volcanic area, I suppose you can have lots of burnt trees like this dotted around the place. Somebody made a nuclear bomb site kind of thing once. That was pretty sweet. You could do that. Yeah, that'd be really nice in the swamp. Things like this. Some dead trees. I remember that. Things like that from 4 of those or something like that. Very similar to that. So you could also use these things as particularly like that one. You use them as bridges. You know, lie them across a path with a broken bridge with a stump next to it. Things like this. It's a player something to do rather than run around and shoot people. Like I say, they have to negotiate the environment as well. That's always good. More stumps. Okay, so you could make like dams, maybe, using this sort of stuff. That'd be pretty sweet. A dam. You've got your different water levels that you could use now, so you could do that. More stumps. Fallen trees. That's a funky one. Look at that. So you're making something like quagmire or mangrove kind of thing, you could use that. Broken trees. Debris, be good for dams. Dead trees, so we got some dead trees. Weird looking trees. That's a cool one. I like that. Palm trees. So we've got the old palm trees, tropical islands and things like that, if you ever want to make some of them. I forgot the wind was on. So the higher the wind, I guess the more these things bend. I left a little bit of wind on. It's good that they, you know, they react to it. It's pretty sweet. Especially if you've got a pretty dense forest, you can have a tropical storm blasting away. Pine trees. Go from tiny little pine trees to bigger pine trees. Ah, the life of a tree. It's a big one. So you've got some pretty funky looking trees. I mean, that was cool. It's huge. Regular trees. These are just trees of the tree variety. Snowy trees. Okay, well, not a massive variety there, but you got some. Well, there's your trees. Okay, we've got vines now. I used to love vines just because it gives your map a creepy kind of eerie feel to it. Especially if you've got like overhanging branches and you can put the vines down so you can walk through them, and they're really good, especially things like these. They're really good for like hiding entrances to caves, stuff like this, because you can walk straight through that. I mean, that would be perfect for a cave entrance. Just a sneaky little hidey hole. Oh, mushrooms, that's cool. More debris, flowers and branches and stuff. Mushrooms. Oh, big vines. Red. Vines. It's got some nice looking vines here. I don't know why they're red, but that's right. Make that work. For cliff sides. Big ones. So these are perfect for mangroves. Sink them into the ground a bit. Or even lie them on the side if you can. Oh, some real big ones. Huh, I remember you. Things like this. There you go. So that's nature done. Oh, it's going to take a while. Gameplay, what's that? Gameplay mode objects. Okay, so this we've got objective marker. Okay, so you can pop an objective marker on the ground, and people can see where they got to go to. Permanent objective marker. Okay, so you put that one next to the. So I guess that one will stay there. But that one I'm not too sure of. Spawn point multiple. So both teams will spawn on the same spawn point. Team 1 spawn points and Team 2 spawn points. Pretty straightforward. Gameplay, weapons and ammo, melee weapons. So these are all your melee weapons. So you got your bats. Try and get a good view of these. Pipes, whatever the hell that is. Branch, shovels, oars, things like that. Spiked bats. And handguns, you know, they're guns. So you can lie these around the maps at certain strategic points. So people have got stuff to pick up. These are all the guns. I mean, they're guns. You know, the 50 cal things. You've got snipers, shotguns. I mean, yeah. Just gonna flick through these relatively quickly because you know what a gun looks like. You know what they are. If you haven't played all the game yet, I don't want to give too much away by showing you some really cool shit that you might not have seen before. Flamethrowers, you got the catapults, throwables, so you know your generic stuff there. Generic stuff. Your exploding stuff and all that. Okay, so pickups, so you can put ammo down, places. Arrows, turrets, there you go, you got your turrets, so you've got a couple of turrets you can put back. 50 cal, M60, and your mortar. So vehicles, okay. You got your buggies, you got your cars, trucks, big trucks. You got the armoured cars, vehicles, big ass trucks. Got a cage on the back, that one. Huh. SUVs, gas-filled boom trucks, things that go boom. Some more armoured vehicles. Armoured vehicles, weapons. There's quite a lot of the same old stuff, unless I'm going through the whole thing again. I don't think I am. SUVs, little quads, more cars, buggies. What's that here? Yeah, you got your big rigs. Tractors, freaking death machines, combi harvesters, trucks, SUVs, pickups. So they're pretty much, they sort of all look the same. They've just got different variations of skins on them. Some got guns on them, some don't. Vans. Packing for the holes. Vacations for our American friends. Yeah, okay, so air. So we've got helicopters. So we've got different types of guns and whatnot on. Some of them look kind of cool. Oh, there you go, look at that. Remember those things. Got the planes. Got Spitfire jobs. Seaplanes. That's it for that. Water. So we've got jet skis, boats, pretty straightforward stuff. Climbing and navigation, we've got ladders, so we've got all sorts of different types of ladders. We've got real big, should have really big ladders. Yeah, ladders. I ain't gonna flick through all of these because I mean, they get real big. That's about as tall as they get. I mean, that's massive. And then you got well, they push like ladders, so yeah, the same as them. These wooden ladders. That's pretty much it. Climbable ledges. You know, these are the things you grapple onto and pull yourself up with. Oh, they even make noises. That's cool. Climbable ledges. Grapple ledges. So you can only go grapple points. Of course, you've got your zip lines. Your anchor. Okay, so you got your medipacks, flat jackets, medipack. Explosives, these are pretty fun. Right, so you got that. And, barrels. So all of these things will blow up if you shoot them, or drive into them, or catapult your friend into one of them. These things used to be my favourite, because you used to be able to get pipes, and you could set these things into pipes on their side, and then, you know, shoot them, and they all shoot out the pipe with like a cannon. Just fly around the place, they're great. That. So Far Cry 5 objects. I mean, there's signs. You know all these things for Far Cry 5. There's, I don't know why that sank into here. Oh yeah, there you go. You've got your pick your own pumpkins. Some different signs. I'll speed this up a little bit now because we're getting into stuff you probably already know about. Although, because these are just, I don't know why they're sinking like that. It's hard to get a spot where they appear. Find a wall, I guess. Okay. Well, anyway, there's signs. You know, signposts. Local honey, apple signs. Yeah. Things you see in the game. Bad member co-op. That's kind of cool. Make a good sniping spot. Caution, fertilizer, exteriors. Just random stuff that you can find lying around. Gates, walls, fences. furniture, all that kind of stuff in here. Oh, it's really in depth. I mean, there's so much stuff you could do. I'm expecting these maps to be pretty varied. I mean, there's so many different types of assets you can have. I wasn't anticipating how much there was. I didn't realise this video was going to go on for so long. So I might try to speed this up a little bit because people don't want to be sat there watching. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Anything with a bit of blood and guts and gore, I like. So stables. Make your own little paddocks. Cages. Just done that. What about storage? Storage stuff, you know, generic kind of freaking storagey stuff. Tools. So I mean, you can make a scarecrow, all sorts of death machine type looking things, torture devices, loads of things. Okay, so these are just doors and windows you can have in. That's cool. I like that one. Doors are pretty cool. Cage doors. Build some crazy stuff out of the old cage things. Sewer systems. Little cage blocking off tunnels and things like that. And windows. So windows are windows. You don't need to see all the windows unless you know, things like that. I mean, you can have a little sewer system with like a cage like that. Pretty good. So yeah, lots of cages that you could use. I keep saying cages. I don't know why I'm obsessed with cages. Government brand and size prison. So you build your own prison sets. Hospital stuff. You can have a hospital med bay or something like that. That's cool. I like that. There you go. There's a little sewer system, drainage end. I'm definitely going to be using that for something. Is the bottom of that, is that a whole pipe? It is a whole pipe. That is definitely getting used. It's a shame there's no corner piece. Oh, saying that, is that a corner piece? No, it ain't. What's that? Hey, fountain. Nice. So, you know, crazy looking lab or something. Oh, that'd be good for my cemetery. Is that cemetery sign? Yeah, St. Francis Restaurant Centre. Oh, it's going to be a cemetery sign when I get my hands on it. School, so you can have blackboards. School desk and whatnot. Supplies, just, you know, just fucking supplies. Oh, that's kind of sweet. I like that. Utility. Ah, oh, they put the pipes back in. Please tell me they put the pipes back in. Is that a 4? I've got to check this out. That's it. There's a full pipe. Nice. That's a big one. Oh, they finally put fucking corner pieces into. Nice. See, they took these out. These things made really good sneaky tunnels, but they took them out of 4 for no reason. The whole thing, man, you can make some really cool things with those little pipes. It looks just those 4 pieces. Just really nice stuff. More pipe work. Industrial stuff. Restaurants, furniture. Branding and signs. Keep clear, fire exit. That's pretty sweet. I'm going to start speeding this up a little bit now because you keep saying, "Oh, look at that! That's cool." Some furniture things. It's nice. Cages. Lighting. Nice. Bonfires. Different types of lights. So all these would work if you hang them up right. I do like that bonfire. That's cool. Mining, you got mining stuff. It's a shame. All I wanted was a mechanic where you could have elevators, because there's ways of making elevators in these games, lifts, but it is the right royal pain in the ass, and it basically relies on a glitch. You have to put posts at a certain angle and walk into them, and it'll pop you up, and then you just clone them and make a pillar out of it, and it will just keep popping up and up and up. So these military structures, here we go, this is what we want to see. So you got big old structures. Barns. Nice, got some cool looking barns. A lot of barns. Yeah, some buildings. There's loads of freaking barns. Well, that was all full up with stuff. That's pretty good. Look. Nice. I guess some will be blocked off. Oh yeah, there you go. Because you don't want every single... Well, I suppose you could have every single building put in. Obviously, the more open the building is, the more you can run around it. That is really nice. I like that. The more the thing has to render, and that will take up your frames. You don't want too many things lying around. Extensions. So these are things to pop out. Silos. So it's basically farmyard stuff. Commercial extensions. Hotels. Oh, it is. I mean, they've got some real cool looking things. A creepy old house. Not so creepy old house. Yeah. Okay, so you have to build that up a little bit, but that'll work. Restaurants. Burger thing. Burger pan. Shops. I mean, you even got the humming from the fridges and the lights. So that's a lot. I'm going to speed these up because there's so much of this to get through. I'm going to... There you go, you've got garages and whatnot. Urban garages. Cool looking little shops and whatnot. They're just really nice. I mean, it probably won't do you frame rates any good. So I don't know how it works. Lights and FX, textures, lakes. There used to be a certain amount of a limit to how many things you can have in a map. There's a little bar at the top there. It's probably still in there. I'll go into that. Manage from that. Publish. Go to options. Edit the settings. Double scroll. There we go. These are the important things. Show fog, show water. Map limits. Show object icons. Zones, shadows, building blocks. Show nav mesh. Because nav mesh basically shows you where the AI will roam. Show grid, that's what I want. Show budget grid on. Show climbable ledges, show droppable. Okay. So there's your grid. I should have done that at the beginning really. So each one of these pink grids is a square, obviously. Within that square you can only have a certain amount of things. If you're building a big structure, build the thing in the square if you want, and then if you run out of space, pick up the whole thing. You can actually, there's a way of doing that. You can basically put a big box around things. Can't remember how I used to do that. But then you can move it right into the middle of the square. That's where they all join. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 grids. And then that will cut down your budget size. So you can fit more objects in a smaller space. But anyway, I'm just gonna quickly go through the AI. So you can have animals, fish, dogs, hawks, what the hell that is, bison, chickens, paddlefish, lizards. Wasp, I mean those wasp nets are going to come in fun. Oh, what the fuck? There's a Yeti. Alright, wasn't expecting to see that. Animation points, they're just points where the animals walk up to. Controlled zones, they again they'll get that. Add new objects. Let's do FARCRY 5, FARCRY 4. I ain't gonna go through FARCRY 4 or 3 because you guys know what's in there. If you played FARCRY 4, especially the guys from my community, you know that what that is. Generic shapes. Okay, so these are cubes that you can put textures on. Doors, door frames, you can texture your own door frames. Ducks, that's cool, you can build your own little funky stuff. Fences, there's numbers, that's pretty sweet. So all of these little grid things here, all these things here, you can place and then put a texture on it. So you can basically create your own set pieces, which is quite good. And you've got your walls, obviously your windows. So you've got stuff from Watchdogs. I don't need objects, so look at the structures, commercials, skyscrapers. Fucking, there you go. If you want to make a city, Jesus, that's a big one. You got your different skyscrapers. People used to build skyscrapers out of the terrain and then colour them and put different textures on them. They look really good, but now you've got your own skyscrapers. You've got little shops. So you can have a proper actual cityscape. Okay, so there goes your shops. That's the stuff to go outside the shops. Industrial extensions, fences, warehouse, stairs, warehouses. Religious stuff, churches. So all these assets are from Watch Dogs, Ubisoft's other game. Aha, there is a cemetery. Nice. Cemetery walls. That's pretty cool. What's this? Metal fence entry. So there's a couple of different types of Navy pier. Okay. So there's different structures. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. So objects, structures, transport, bridges. Nice. So got some old rope bridges. And fences and things. Houses, here we go. Cool. So you can make it look like the old piratey days. It's nice of Ubisoft to put this sort of stuff in there because these things do look cool. Like an old ghost town or something out of these. So it's early days yet, but I'm really excited to see what people make. They're going to be oh, sorry. Hi, Welsh Penguin. Sorry, dude. I didn't even see you there. I was miles away in my own little world. How you doing, mate? Welcome to the stream, buddy. I'm just running people through all the assets that we've got in the new Far Cry game because nobody's done anything like that yet. So I've been asked a few times to do it, so that's what I'm doing. So far, they've got some pretty cool things. I'm very well, mate. Yeah, thanks. I'm not doing too badly. I've had my dinner. I've had a couple of donuts. I feel fat. And I'm doing good. I thought I'd make a quick video on all the assets, because people have been asking me to do it. And it turns out that it's been, God knows, I mean, I don't know how long I've been streaming now, but it's been a few hours at least, probably. It's just so much in this game. I mean, there's loads of it. I thought I'd sit down and go through every single asset, but I can't even do that. That's just going to take forever if I did. So I'm just basically flicking through things. Oh, they've got some really good stuff. Oh, this is all the assets from Black Flag. 2 hours exactly. Oh, there you go. Well, that's that was. I thought, oh, it'd only take about 15-20 minutes. It'll be fine. I'll do that. Yeah, no problem. I can see why nobody else has done one. But oh well, there we go. So I hope you've got. Have you got Far Cry? Are you going to be making any maps if you're going to get it? Need more map makers in the old community. So these things look real creepy. I can't wait to start doing this, I don't know, some ghost maps or something. There's loads of them as well. There's tons. Lots of some creepy looking things. Oh, nice, nice. It's an amazing game. I mean, map making aside, the actual game itself is really impressive. It's very, very good. I mean, I got it specifically for the map maker. Like the other games, I got the other games just for the map maker. I played Far Cry 2 and the map maker was it for me. I was quite happy with that. Ah, too poor digitally. Yeah, I know the feeling, mate. I was lucky. I saved a few pennies. I was lucky to get it today. But I would definitely recommend buying the physical copy though. Mostly because I bought the physical copy and I got loads of free stuff with it. Like I got the soundtrack to the game with the physical copy. I've got a poster with a map on it on one side and a real cool, nice poster on the other side. I also got given a free poster by the guy I met from Game who bought it when I bought it, so that was nice. So there's definite bonuses to having a physical copy. Oh, I know what I'm going to be using for my pitfall traps now. Haha, spikes. Yeah, they're going in a pitfall trap. Oh, look at that. They're definitely going in a pitfall. They're like made for pitfall traps, these things. Ha ha ha. We got some real cool things in here. Platforms. So these are from Primal, which I didn't actually play. I don't know already. Walls. Never really played Primal. I mean, I've heard it was alright. They used the same map as Far Cry 4, which was pretty sweet. You know, if they're it's supposed to be set like in the same place, but like thousands of years before. Temples, they've got, oh, like Stonehenge kind of things. Nice. Yeah, a weird little temple. Residential huts. She got some funky little huts here. Yeah, not too bad. We'll do some things with them, I guess. So that was Primal. Assassin's Creed Unity. Let's look at the religious crypts, eh? Oh, okay. Can we go in any of these crypts? No, I don't know, like you can. That's a shame. It'd be nice to be able to go into one of them. I mean, it'd be great for Graveyard. A horror map. It'd be perfect for it. Kind of got a gothic feel to it. Real nice. Oh. That's kind of cool. Very flat, these things. Very thin houses. Well, so I guess we're coming to the end of the stream now. So there's not really much else I have to show you. That was all the new objects. I've been through the AI. I've been through the terrain tools, the loadouts. Obviously loadouts, you can set them for different things. They're loadouts, you know what a loadout is, so you know loadouts are loadouts. Okay, there's the map details. Yeah, I pretty much covered everything. So there you go. That's it, guys. That is the assets in Far Cry 5. There will be more when the DLC come out, if you guys have bought the DLCs, or the Season Pass rather, or you're going to buy the DLCs for it, you'll also have assets for the DLCs for the map maker as well. So you've got the Vietnam one, they will have assets from that to place in the maps. You'll have the assets from the space one, the Mars one, and the one I'm looking forward to is the zombies. There's going to be a zombie DLC, and they're going to be using assets from that, and they're going to be placing that in the map, so I could finally make my really, really good horror maps with actual zombies. I cannot wait. It is going to be good. So that went on a lot longer than I was expecting, but there you go. I was asked to do that, and I have done it. So there you are. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you haven't been, you know, falling asleep and bored to death. As you can see at the bottom there, if you're watching on PSN, I'm also on YouTube. Check me out. I'm Devildrive PS4. I've got all sorts of shenanigans going on there. Me and my friends just random murdering everything that we can. I'm going to be streaming Far Cry 5 pretty soon, actually. I'm probably going to get something to eat quick, and then within half an hour I'll be back streaming on Far Cry 5, so you can check me out on YouTube. I've also got a Twitch channel I've just set up, but it's a little bit in the works at the moment. That's the same as my YouTube, Devildrive PS4. So there you go. I'll see you very shortly. I hope you enjoyed. Give us a like, share, subscribe if you wanna. And as always, I will see you on the respawn.